you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that intro. That was a lot of fun to make. As a matter of fact, that whole intro you saw at the beginning of this video and what you're seeing right now is the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra at 8K 24 frames per second. What? So yes, I did switch to the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra from my OnePlus. My OnePlus was great, and it's a really fun phone, and I had a lot of fun with that phone. But as soon as I tried the camera and video on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, I was like, I gotta have this phone. It's one of the best cameras I've seen so far on a cell phone. I've been a Note user for a really long time, since like the Note 2. I've always loved the Note series. Up until about 6 months ago, I saw this OnePlus phone, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it out. And it was a great phone, but like I said, I saw the camera on this phone, and I had to switch. Now, we're not gonna get into depth on the specs and all the features and functions of this phone, but we are going to get into the camera of the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Filming at 8K at 24 frames per second on a cell phone camera, you know it's 2020. You know it's 2020 when there's phones filming at 8K. It's crazy. As soon as I received my phone, got it up and running, I was like, I want to put this camera to the test. I want to see if this camera can do what I wanted it to do, and the reason I bought it, for vlogging and creating content and getting good quality footage out of this camera. Hey, what's up you guys, Editing Alex here, and before we continue this video, there's a couple things I forgot to mention. This whole video is filmed on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, including this right here is the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. I'm having it on a little Joby tripod, and I'm holding it out, filming at 8K. For all the B-roll shots, me, my girlfriend, and even my mom ended up getting a Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, so I've been using their phones to take B-roll shots of my phone, or I'm using my phone to take B-roll shots of their phones, and like that. So this whole thing, everything you see in this video is Galaxy Note 20 Ultra camera. All the footage you're seeing also has a very light grade, just basic correction, you know, shadows, highlights, and midtones, just to give it a little more contrast, but it's not much different from the original footage. It's just to, you know, give it that extra push to the footage. Another thing, this video is not sponsored by Samsung. This is all just me making a video because I'm really impressed with this camera. So nobody's paying me to say anything. I could say bad things, I could say good things, but this is just me, trust me. One more thing to note, I did notice that the 8K footage has really bad rolling shutter. Like, it's pretty bad. I don't know if that can be fixed in an update or something, or what, but the 4K doesn't have that much of rolling shutter, but the 8K does have pretty bad rolling shutter. So if you're kind of waving your camera around a lot, I can probably show you guys right now. It has pretty bad rolling shutter, so I don't know if that's something they can fix in an update, but hopefully they can. Now, going out and vlogging can be a hassle if when you're carrying a big old DSLR or mirrorless camera, and you got the mics and you got the camera and the lenses, and you got to carry extra gear sometimes and all this and that, and sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth carrying the extra gear to get the shot you want and the quality you want, but sometimes you don't want to carry all that. Sometimes you just want to carry a camera that fits in your pocket and looks great. And I think this Galaxy Note 20 Ultra camera can kind of be that camera that when you're not feeling like you want to take all your gear or your vlogging camera and everything out with you, you could take this thing to Disneyland or Universal Studios with you, or whatever, or wherever you go on your adventure, and get some really nice footage for your vlog or your video or whatever you're making. I'm not saying you can do professional quality stuff. You probably can pull it off if you really try hard. Like, I did some crazy stuff with this camera today, and if you really try hard and know what you're doing, you could probably get some really professional commercial quality videos out of this. I have this feeling that cell phone cameras from now into the next couple of years are entering their best years, and they're only gonna get better and better and better. I don't know if they'll ever reach the point where they're gonna really look like a mirrorless or a DSLR with a really nice lens all in a phone, but they're getting really damn close to it. Like, look at this image, you guys. I mean, like, this is amazing. A lot of these newer cell phones, like the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, can be a great vlogging camera if you don't have money for a more expensive camera, which, although this is kind of expensive, it's a $1,300 phone. Like, you know, that's a really nice entry-level DSLR camera or mirrorless camera, but, you know, you have the convenience of having your cell phone and a camera together all in one. Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Wow, this looks great. You look great, but the camera looks great too. There's like depth of field. It's so weird.
Depth of field?
Like, look, film me right now. Yo, the only thing that's cropped in, you know, because it's 8K. But like, even if I do this, like, I could probably get like a cool shot. Like, There's probably a nice depth of field
There is.
to the background. Looks like a real camera, you know? Another thing that's great about this camera is that it has audio features. So you can, like right now, I have the audio set to rear, which is pointing at me, the rear of the phone, picking up my voice. You can set it up to pick up front, which would be the front of the phone, and pick up your voice there. Or you can set it up to Omni, which is an all-around mic. It's picking up everything around it. You can also connect a USB mic or Bluetooth wireless earbuds, and it's gonna pick up the audio from those as well. I don't have any of that connected right now. I wanted to see what the audio sounded like this. And also, I don't have the adapter to connect the mic through the USB-C, but if I do get one and I film another video like this with this phone, I'm definitely going to connect the mic and maybe connect the Rode Wireless Go to it, and you will have great video along with great audio, which is, that's all you need, dude. Like, that's all you need. Game over. So like I said, I want to show you guys some of this footage, and I want to show you guys that as long as you know what you're doing in a way, you can get any camera to look good. As long as there's good lighting, and as long as you know how to set your camera up the right way, you can get some great images. I wanted to see if it can handle product shots. I wanted to see if it can handle some B-roll. All of this footage, most of it, I think 99% of it, was filmed in Pro mode, which is a feature where it lets you dial in your shutter, dial in your ISO. The only thing you can't change on the settings is the aperture, which is a fixed aperture at 1.8, I believe. But it looks great, honestly. As long as you can change all the other settings, mess with your shutter and ISO and white balance, you can get a great looking image like this, especially when you're under controlled lighting. I wanted to push it to see what it would look like in a controlled environment with controlled lighting. You guys, this looks great. Like, if I didn't have an A7 III, or maybe if I didn't tell you that this was the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, and you know, I had a mic hooked up to it, maybe, would you guys even question this footage? I don't know, maybe not, maybe you would. It's a great camera to film B-roll. There's good stabilization in the camera as long as you're, you know, holding it steady. You gotta know what you're doing in a way to make it look professional. You can't just pick up a camera and go. A lot of people think you can do that, but there's a lot that goes into it. And it's also great for, you know, family events, for your vlog content, for video, for, you know, whatever you need, you want to keep in your phone. It's great, and it's gonna look awesome. Yeah, so I set up my phone on a tripod, set up my lighting, got it all dialed in, took out the S Pen, and I use this to trigger recording. So I just click once and it starts recording, click again and it stops recording. The footage I've been getting out of this camera from this sensor, which has one of the bigger sensors of any cell phone out there right now, it's crazy. I think that's one of the reasons why this camera does so good with recreating this mirrorless DSLR look. It looks like you're filming with a real camera sometimes. It still has some of that cell phone look, but at the same time it kind of tricks you into where you're like, what kind of camera is that? Is that a cell phone or a mirrorless camera or a DSLR? It's because of that depth of field, and it can probably pass as something like a Sony ZV-1, like a really nice expensive point and shoot, or even an entry-level mirrorless camera with a nice lens on it. Like, honestly, this footage can pass as one of those cameras. Even some of the nighttime footage is not bad. I know cell phone cameras tend to just fall apart at night. Photo and video, they're, you know, it's just the small sensors. They don't have the capacity to do great low lighting unless you're doing like long exposure stuff. But this camera actually holds up pretty good. You can get away with it at night. As long as there's some kind of ambient lighting, you're gonna get a great image. But then again, you know, any camera, even a DSLR or mirrorless camera, there's no lighting and it's dark, the footage is gonna fall apart. Like, you need some kind of lighting, any camera. So I can't say it's bad at night, but I can't say it's the greatest. Good for a cell phone camera. It's not the Sony a7S III, of course, low light king, but it looks great. Now, another question you might have is, isn't this gonna take up a crazy amount of space on your phone if you're filming at 8K? 4K is already pretty big. Well, I got a solution. First of all, you can put in a memory card into this phone, so you can expand the 128 that comes in your phone. You can expand that to up to 512 gigabytes, I believe. So you can have almost a terabyte or have a terabyte of memory in your phone. The downside is when you record in 8K, it records it to the internal memory of the phone when you're in pro mode. But that's not really an issue. Once you finish filming it, it goes into your gallery. It's on an internal memory on the phone, but you can easily transfer that to your memory card. Or if you have one of these Samsung T7 drives or T5, either one. One of my favorite things to use in conjunction with this phone is these little Samsung SSD drives that I use for editing. I edit off of these drives, and since they are Samsung drives, they're compatible with the Samsung phones. You plug them in with a USB-C cable directly to your phone, and like all that 8K footage you just shot or whatever you have photos on here, you want to take them off your phone, you just literally connect it to the drive and drag them off the phone into your 1 terabyte drive, 500 gigabytes, whatever you need, and it's super fast. So like right now we just shot a bunch of B-roll footage with Erica's phone, and I need it obviously for this edit, so I'm gonna get it off of her phone onto my drive, and then she won't have it on her phone anymore taking up space. It's another plus. And obviously, how does the footage look here?
It kind of looks
grainy.
It's
just the lighting is really crappy in here. So that's another thing with cell phone footage. When it starts getting darker, it kind of starts to fall apart. But I think for the most part, this camera holds up a little. It might look grainy, but it is what it is with cell phone cameras. This sensor is a little bigger than normal cell phone cameras, so we'll do a little better. But I love these little Samsung drives. They're amazing. They're fast. They're reliable. I edit off of these things on my computer. And the other thing you can do with these, that you can now connect to your computer and start editing right off your hard drive. It's amazing. The workflow with it is super fast and easy, and you keep the space open on your phone. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, it does bust a little bit of a Canon R5, heats up a little bit, but that makes sense. Being such a compact phone and filming 8K, it's gonna heat up. Just keep an eye on it. It can get really hot, especially when you're outside filming and it's hot outside. You will feel it. It can be really hot to the touch. But other than that, you know, filming in 4K also looks great. I was shooting some stuff in 4K. It looked great, but honestly, I got stuck on this 8K mode and I was just amazed. I was amazed at how it looks. I did try out the front selfie camera. I'm not ever really a fan of front selfie cameras. It looks great. I'm not saying it doesn't. And if you need to vlog with it and put the front selfie camera out, you know, you can. It records up to 4K, 30 frames, and up to 60 frames, I believe. No 24 frames per second, which would have been great. So in conclusion, is this phone for you? Is this cell phone camera for you? I think that if you're a content creator, a YouTuber, and you're an Android user, I think this camera is for you, because you're gonna have a blast using this camera, especially if you know a little more about cameras and shutter speed and ISO. You go into that pro mode, you're gonna get some great footage out of this. But yes, if you're looking for a phone that does great video and you're a content creator and you create video on a daily basis, this phone, this camera could be your next daily driver, and it could help you get some great images wherever you're at. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to show you guys some of this footage because I don't think I've seen any other Galaxy Note 20 Ultra video that shows this kind of footage. Everybody just kind of shows the basic video and photo modes, and especially on video, and it doesn't look great. The examples I've seen, I don't think a lot of people are doing it justice. They're more, you know, there's a lot more channels that are more focused on the specs of the phone and all that, but I wanted to focus more on this camera and the sensor and the 8K footage you're getting from this camera. I think it's very underrated because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it or really show examples about it. They talk about it, but they don't really show the camera in use and in action. So I wanted to show you guys that and give you a taste of that. But if you want to see some photo examples, or, you know, have me test the images, have me test the camera for photos and all that, leave a comment down below and let me know that you want to see something like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to watch my other video of my OnePlus 7T Pro Mclaren, click here. You can click here for this video that has been chosen specifically for you. And if you guys want to be cool and nice and not be a butthole, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.